Hi, everybody. I'm Bud Black. And this is Don Wells.
And I'm Steve Bailey.
And this is Angel 62.
ABC Los Angeles.
Riding the range once more.
Get to the big field and Corey going back. He did it! Nolan Ryan has a no-hit, no-run game.
Stat says he has it. The Angels, world champions.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I direct your attention to something quite extraordinary?
Congratulations. You're tuning into the award-winning Cup of Joe. And now, here he is, Halo Joe.
Oh! Welcome, everybody. I wish I had confetti, like Rip Taylor. Just throw it everywhere. Confetti everywhere. Welcome. Like a boil that used to be a pimple, but you scratched it. This is the Cup of Joe. And I want to thank each and every one of you, buckaroos and buckarettes, for showing up today. Thank you so much. Every Monday, you're going to catch me here giving you all your Angels baseball history needs, whether you like it or not. Look at me. I'm sitting here with my Artie Moreno jacket on. I got my Angels hat on. I'm all fired up, ready to go. We won our first series of the year. I mean, the first game of the year sucked. It sucked balls. I know it was terrible. It was a bad loss, 8-1, but we hung in there. We won the last two. Yes, it was the White Sox, but who cares? 2 out of 3. I'll take it. Good start. Let's go. I'm excited. I'm a little excited. I get excited every year. I get excited every spring training, even though I'm miserably let down pretty much into June. But regardless, we're going to start off a new 2025 season here at Halos in the Infield HITI network, and I want to thank each and every one of you who has been tuning in, even through I'm sorry, my brain's everywhere. Through the spring training, we had some guys pop off episodes before. They're already 3-4 in. I want to thank all those guys. Dominic, I want to thank James. I want to thank Todd. I want to thank Fernando, Rob coming in and helping out every chance he gets and doing everything that he does. He's such a great guy. We got Randy, the producer of the Stars, getting everything together for us and set up. We're getting fired up. We're looking good. Look at this setup here. Look at this. I mean, this is exciting. Green screen. Come on. I love the green screens. I love them. Anyway, maybe we can get something a little more flashier in the back and not so plain. I don't know. We see you let me know. What do you guys think about real quick? The red. Is it too much? I'm getting a little tired of the red. In the last couple of years, I must say that the red hats and red on red and all that stuff, I think I'm getting a little burned out, especially since I've been going back and studying a bit about on our Angels history, stuff I didn't know about, things like that, and looking at these old pictures of these baseball players. We had such a classy look before, especially in the 1960s with the dark navy blue socks and the halos on top of the caps and the LA or the CA, whichever one you like. Awesome uniforms. I mean, but I don't know. That's just me. It might be. I mean, if we were winning, maybe I'd be thinking different. I'm not sure. I loved them in 2002. They were great in 2002. But anyway, let's move on. We're gonna have different segments of the show. At the beginning of the segment, I may talk about what's going on in the news or something that's going on or happening around the world. Whatever. Poke some fun and get a few laughs. I'm going to do this once in a while to my mustache because I finally got my mustache to that part where I got to buy that. I got to get that wax that you put in there and just get that good little curl up. Ooh, that'll look nice. Look at that. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's real, too. Took me a couple weeks to grow. I'm a hairy man. Anyway, yeah, so then we'll do that. Then we'll get into the history segment. Then we'll close the show off of what's happening on the next week, and then we'll just move on. Every Monday, catch me here, Halo Joe, at Cup of Joe, for your Angels baseball history, just to start you off. Get that good start out on the week. Get out there knowing your stuff. People think you've been around forever, even though you're only 20 years old. But anyway, well, we had a few crazy things happen. Nothing even worth mentioning, really. We heard about the Dodgers getting accepted to the White House and people making a big old deal about that. Come on. The whole time they were there too, Trump's like, I didn't even know they were coming. I didn't even know they were there. I didn't think they were going to come, but they came. So, that kind of stuff. He's doing this. But the big news, what really caught my attention, and of course it would, was excuse me, the Chesapeake Bay Sox. Do you not know who they are? They are the AA affiliate for the Baltimore Orioles. They joined in on a minor league trend that's going around right now where teams are adopting an alternate identity. So woke. Well, they came up with the Chesapeake Oyster Catchers, my high school nickname. And it says that they came up with that catchy name and also with some catchy logos. Get this, while they have the elusive oyster catcher bird, which is perched up on a baseball bat, kind of like the Cardinals logo. He has a long beak, and I guess he eats oysters. He catches them. Didn't know about it. There's a scientific name from the Americanus ostrogabris. I just made that up. He's perched on a baseball bat, and he's there, and it looks cool. It's actually a pretty cool looking logo, I have to admit. But it's their secondary logo that really raised some eyebrows. Maybe more than that. But it was the press released it and described it as a symbol of strength and ingenuity, qualities that define both the Chesapeake region and its baseball fans. And let me just tell you, oops, sorry about that. There it is there. Now, when I first saw this, I thought, is that an ear in a catcher's mitt? But it's, nope, it looks like a vagina. It sure does, doesn't it? Yeah, that's a Burgundy, and it's right there in a catcher's mitt with a baseball in it, which is kind of strange. I honestly, my first thought was an ear with those like stud earrings or something in the top and a really chewed up looking earlobe. But that's not what the interwebs got out of it. As a matter of fact, it was it got out of hand, and the Bay Sox came out with a statement of it because it went viral. Let's make it count, they said. We have an opportunity to turn laughs into a meaningful, positive impact in our community. So for Women's History Month, which just is passing now, 10% of all Oyster Schmackers, that's what I'm calling it, Oyster Schmackers, merch sales will support Survivor, a nonprofit organization dedicated to cervical cancer, at the next home game against probably a team like the Savannah Bananas. What do you think? But so they turned this loony looking logo into something positive, which I give them all the credit in the world for. Good for them. What a way to bounce back. They could have easily ripped it off the racks like other teams did. Major League Baseball has definitely missed opportunities here with teams like the Texas Rangers, who could have, they could have supported like breast cancer awareness, or maybe with the Astros and the Angels, they could have supported something like hemorrhoidal prevention and treatment tips. I'm not one to judge, to be honest, but if that's the case, I mean, come on, they could have done something with it. But what they do, they ripped it off. They just ripped it off the racks. Could have gone a lot further with that one. I guess I didn't. Anyway, so that's that story. Then we're going to also go into Los Angeles. The city of Los Angeles is having a hard time with the Olympics that is coming up in 2028. They're facing $1 billion budget deficit. That's keep putting them in a lot of hot water. They're having to move some events around, which sucks. And they may have to even move some outside of the city or even outside of the state. Basketball slated for the LA Convention Center. Now get this, they were going to put $1 billion into the LA Convention Center so that they could play basketball there for the Olympics in 2028. Well, they're not going to be able to do that anymore. So they're going to move the basketball game into the Intuit Dome in Inglewood, where the Clippers play. Brand new stadium. I thought, why wouldn't that be the first choice? But I guess it's just not the right size. Someone help me out here. In the Olympics, I guess they need a bigger stadium. But they're moving it there. The people who are going to be there are going to enjoy it. That place is beautiful. So good for them. The canoe and kayak events were planned for the San Fernando Valley, and they were going to need tens of millions of dollars put in that to renovate it for that event. And they're not going to be able to do it there anymore. And guess where they're going to have it? Oklahoma City, right out of California. They're going to ship that sucker all the way over there and do all your canoe and kayak events in Oklahoma City. So if you're coming to LA to see that event, you need to change your plans. And also we got golf tournaments being held at the Quiet Canyon in Montebello. And also the badminton will be moved to Needles High School. And you guessed it, Needles, California. Go Mustangs. So that's pretty much the news as far as what's been going on last week. There's a lot of other things too, but I didn't want to talk about it. Let's get into history, shall we? Now, I have this little graphic I was going to pull up or not. I don't even know if it's going to come up or not. Let's see if it even does. Oops, sorry about that. Angels Rewind. Remember that name? We're going to bring that back, and we're going to talk about I'm basically going to go over the timeline of our Los Angeles Angels from when we started really quickly and just roughly through up until now, so that those of you who are young and have not or don't know or are unaware, you'll get a basic idea of where we started and where we ended up or where we're at. And during the episodes through this season, you will be learning in detail on what happened with players, records, games, championship, uniforms, stadium, all that stuff. Everything you need to know to be a fan. And it's not just the team. It's not just the X's and O's. It's not just the RBI singles and the home runs and the ERAs. It's about your team that you love, that you follow, their uniforms, their colors, their logos, the stadium, the seats, the food, everything that has to do with being an Angels fan, which I love. We're going to talk about it if there's anything interesting to talk about, but we will. But anyway, getting into that, we're going to start all the way back to the Old West with the Wyatt Earp days, where he was running around Tombstone shooting at people like Ike Clanton, and I don't know who the other guy was. I forgot his name. But anyway, 1892 was the year. California League baseball. Yes, baseball was being played. And I believe baseball started around the Civil War years. Hence that's why we have caps, I think, because the Civil War players used to wear soldiers had those caps, and that kind of got integrated into baseball. I'm guessing there. I'm not sure exactly if that's the truth or not, but I definitely look into that. That's very interesting if it is, and I would love to share that with you as well. But I will get into that later. By the way, as we go on with this quick timeline, just to get you through this first episode and give you an idea of what's going on, feel free to go into comments and ask questions. If you have a question about something, a certain player, a certain thing, or something that happened in Angels history, go ahead and plop it in there. I'm going to try to get a little mailbag thing going on Facebook, Instagram, stuff like that too, so that you can go ahead and jot your ideas down in there, or ask me questions about the show, about history, anything like that, and I will find out for you, and I will get you detail for it too, so that you know and that you're knowledgeable. And if anybody ever asks you, like, hey, you little Angel fan, tell me something about your team, boom, fire right at them. Let them know what a real fan you are, right? Even though you're 18, 19 years old, you're going to know what happened in 1972 and all that other stuff. So 1892, man, voice getting dry. Should have brought some water here. California League started off with a team called the Los Angeles Seraphs. The Seraph is also short for seraphim, which is the meaning of the word angel, or a type of angel, a rank of angel. Because of Los Angeles being the city of angels, and Los Angeles means the angels in Spanish, that's where they got the name. So Los Angeles Seraphs kicks things off for the California League. Kept the name for 1 year. I believe people were calling them the Angels for short, like we call them the Halos now. And the following season in 1893, changed their name officially to the Los Angeles Angels. And that they stood until the league closed down a couple of years after that, because just not enough attendance. It wasn't doing well. Now, whether the California League closed completely or not, or just phased out or evolved, I'm not sure. I got to double check on that. I didn't follow into that, but I will let you know. But they do kind of fizzle out there, and the Los Angeles team ends. So later on in 1908, the Pacific Coast League starts up and has a team called, a new team, the Los Angeles Angels. Has nothing to do with the team prior. They kept the name going. Now, there's also other names with them as well, the Los Angeles Lulus and other weird names too. I think there's a couple other ones too, where it's not very clear what they kept with or why they even named them that at the time. Maybe they were just going for something different. But they did stick with the Angels, and the PCL League stuck with the Angels all the way up until 1958. Now, they had a series of championships, a pretty successful team for the minor leagues. Keep in mind, this is a minor league team. They were an affiliate for the Chicago Cubs. And the owner, Wrigley, came down to LA and decided to build them a nice stadium. They had a stadium up Washington Park, which had a big slide in the outfield and stuff. Pretty cool looking, really old, cool looking place. I think it was in the 1920s. And then he came down and decided to build Wrigley Stadium, which was in Carson, city of Carson. And that's where the Angels played. And that building stood up for quite a while, all the way up into the 50s and early 60s. The Angels played there up until 58 when the Brooklyn Dodgers decided to move down to Los Angeles. Walter O'Malley bought the Pacific Coast League Angels team off of Wrigley, and the stadium decided to move the team up north, change the name, kept the logo because the LA Dodger logo on the blue hats was the Los Angeles Angels logo in the 50s. They had a series of different other logos before that as well. Most of them were LA style logos. I think a couple of them were just an A, but they were mostly LA logos. But that very familiar one that you've seen, slight little differences on a little flag on the top of the A, and I believe the A was red and the L was white, or vice versa. And he just made it all white, took that little flag off the top of the A, and that's the Dodger logo. And it's will always be known as the Dodger logo, but it was the Angels logo. So he kept the logo, moved the team off, changed the name. And what ended up happening was the popularity of baseball got even bigger in LA. Now, keep in mind, there were a lot of fans that followed the Los Angeles Angels PCL team, minor league team, playing other teams like the Hollywood Stars and the Vernon Tigers and numerous amount of other teams. And they were ravenous about baseball here in Los Angeles. They loved their team. Wasn't the major leagues, but they had their teams. So they would go and watch these teams. So there was a fan base for the Angels. When Gene Autry showed up to purchase a radio station in the late 1950s, he was told, actually in 59, 60, he was told that he should just buy this expansion team that major leagues are coming out with. And he thought, well, maybe I will. Now, this guy had a ton of money. He was a cowboy singer from the 40s and 50s. Very wealthy man, very famous for his music. And he loved baseball and he loved the Angels. So he purchases the expansion team and renames them the Los Angeles Angels, keeping the name on. So he gets an expansion team, pieces of other teams put together, starting from scratch. Now, the Dodgers were already a established team coming into LA from Brooklyn. So when they came in, they were already good. So they got great players playing already. They were already awesome, and fans just went crazy. They played at the Coliseum for a season, I believe, and which was crazy. Left field wall was like 20 feet away. And then they decided they needed to build their own stadium, which they built Chavez Ravine. Now, when they were building Chavez Ravine, the Angels started their first season in the old Wrigley Stadium in Carson. Stadium's too small, especially for Major League Baseball. Even though the Angels were not pulling the numbers they wanted, that was the expectation, was to pull Major League Baseball numbers. So move in with the Dodgers at Chavez Ravine is what the choice was made at, just like the Clippers did with the Lakers and the way the San Diego Chargers are doing now with the Los Angeles Rams and SoFi. So the Angels move in with the Dodgers. They're there up until 1965. The deal there was bad. Scheduling was bad for the Angels. Everything was bad for them. It just didn't make any sense. What he was paying, none of it. They never really felt like that was their home. And he was noticing that he was falling deeper and deeper into a dark shadow caused by the Dodgers. This was becoming Dodger Town. And there's no way out of it after that. You could win after that, but you're never going to get out of that shadow when there's so many fans for that team. So it's the same thing some teams are facing nowadays in other sports. So he decides to move out. Now he's looking around. He wants to build another stadium in LA, something like that. Can't find anything. He goes down to Long Beach. They're like, yeah, come down to Long Beach. We'll build you a stadium, but you got to call your team the Long Beach Angels. Gene Autry's like, nope, no, thank you. So he gets an offer from Anaheim, the city of Anaheim. There's nothing down there but orange groves and all kinds of other stuff. And they tell him, hey, look, Disneyland's down here. The city will build you a stadium. Anaheim Stadium will build it. It's your state. It'll be yours. You guys just need to come down here. They didn't give him any of it. They just told him that's the deal. We want you down here. We're building our city. Autry said, yep, let's do it. Goes down there and decides best way to get us out of this shadow is we're going to change our name to the California Angels. So in 1966, 5 years after their expansion year, they changed their name from Los Angeles Angels to the California Angels, where they stood through the rest of the 60s, 70s, 80s, and midway through the 90s up until 1996. In 1997, the Angels were bought by Disney and their name was changed to the Anaheim Angels. Their uniforms were changed too to those god-awful winged periwinkle uniforms that they wore those years. And the stadium was redone, and the stadium went through many changes. The Angels went through many uniform changes as well before that. But the name changed from California to Anaheim in 1997. And then all the way through, they won the championship in 2002. And then I believe it was in 2004, 2005 is when, after Arturo Moreno bought the team, decided to change their name to the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. Now, the of Anaheim was in there because of the contract. In the contract, you cannot change their name from the Anaheim Angels. The Anaheim name has to be in the name. He found a loophole to keep the name in there while calling them Los Angeles still, so that he could go after the Los Angeles market. In 2016, that contract gave up and let up that clause to where he could back out of the of Anaheim, where it was dropped, and now they are known only as the Los Angeles Angels up until today. Now, at the time when it happened, I thought, wow, what a great idea. Let's go back to Los Angeles. Yeah, let's go for that big money. Let's be that big market team. That's where we were originally from. That's where our name came from. I was kind of gung-ho about it. And then as the years passed by, and I'm talking 20 years passing by, I realized it's the whole point of the identity is just off. So it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense to this day. So I have my beef with that right now. But anyway, whether you agree with it or not, it's fine. We're Angels fans. That's all that matters. We are here for this channel, for all of our guys at HITI Network. We got Todd Fox with Fernando Mendez. We got Dominic with all the minor league news you need. We got James with Around the Major League Baseball. He's covering everything from all the other teams around baseball. If you want that news, you got myself, Halo Joe, here with the Angels baseball history. We got Rob helping us out with all of our stuff that we need. Rob's our utility guy. He's in everything. He's behind the scenes. He's in the camera with you guys. The guy does it all. He's great. Todd Fox also does the post-game show after every baseball game. Don't miss it. When the baseball game's over and the Angels win or lose, hit the notification bell on this YouTube channel after you subscribe to it. Of course, hit the like button as well. And let that sucker chirp and let you know that Todd's coming on 20 minutes to an hour or so after the game. I know he tries to get on earlier. Sometimes he can't because he's at the game or some other things are happening, but he will get on. It's the best post-game show you're going to get with the Angels. That's for certain. He will go on his talk about the game, discuss what happened, go over the chat with the guys that are down there in the chat, get involved, joke around. I mean, it's a great bunch. And you can also call in the show, ask Todd questions, talk to him about baseball, talk to him about anything you want to talk about that has to do with the Angels. It's a great show. Every day, jump on it. We got a new fella whose name is Vince. He's the Angels cowboy. He's going to be helping us out as well with his show and giving us all the Angels information we need. We got a strong core guys here, real good group of guys. We have Randy, the producer to the stars, who is getting everything set up for us and everything ready and making us look nice and flashy and cute. And this is going to be a good season. Whether the Angels fall or not, I think we're going to have for Heedy, it's going to be a good season, and I have some good feelings about what's going on. I have some good feelings about Cup of Joe too. We're ever evolving. So if you have any ideas of what you think, hey, the show would be a little bit better if you did this. Hey, Halo Joe, I think you should wear a tube top on the show. Hey, Halo Joe, I think you should have some kind of a different background. Whatever. Let me know. I don't get my feelings hurt. We want to make this for you. It's not for us. We want to make sure that you guys are enjoying it. This is your Angels YouTube channel. Subscribe. Anyway, I want to thank each and every one of you. Oh, first, before I shove off, I want to make sure that you guys know what's going on within the next week. Now, we started the year off great with a series win, right? 2 out of 3. We lost the first game, but that's okay. We came back for the second 2 and beat those pesky White Sox 2 out of 3. But what we got started going on for Monday, we have the Angels at St. Louis against the Cardinals for a 4:45 game. On Tuesday, same thing, 4:45. But on Wednesday, they're going to start at 10:15. That's going to be a good one. I'll get to listen to them at work. And hopefully you're able to jump on the radio and listen to Terry Smith. And maybe he can get you some insight on whether or not the Angels are going to place a hit here. Count is 0-2. So he will be there if you're at work. I drive around for a living, so I get to have them on the radio. I love when they're on the radio early. And then guess what? Day off on Thursday. So Thursday, do what you like. Listen to your podcasts. Come back to us. Watch some older episodes. We got some good stuff in here. And then on Friday, we're going to kick it off again with we're back at the Big A, though. The Guardians are coming to the Big A at a 6:38 game. On Saturday at 6:38 and Sunday at 1:07. Remember, at the end of all these games, Mr. Todd Fox will be on his podcast, his post-game show, covering that game. That's a ton of fun. I'm telling you guys, if you haven't yet, join them, jump on, watch it. It's great fun. Get involved. It's awesome. Thank you guys so much, Buckaroos and Buckarettes. Thank you for chiming in and listening to this video, or watching this video, I should say. It's a lot of fun doing this. It's a lot of work too, but we really enjoy you guys. You guys really have shown us how much you care about us. We have a very strong core of fans that are listening to us and watching us on our podcast. Catch us on not only YouTube but on Spotify, on Believe. We're on all kinds of different social media networks. Just anywhere you could get your Angels news. Just go into Heedy Network. Halos in the Infield. That's where you go. I'm going to sign off with my little closer here. Hopefully this works right. And you all have yourself a great evening. Thanks again. This is Halo Joe signing off. Have a
Is written at home plate. Angel soaring seals the fate. Halo Joe in the lights tonight. Home run king taking flight. Baseball fever, sky so bright. Angel's legacy burning white.